Hello, distinction students. This is your tutor, Miss Zulu. Welcome to today's comment session where we're going to look at trends in retailing. Okay, so when we're talking about trends in retailing, these are changes or developments that have taken place in retail trade, and this includes we have pre-packaging, we have branding, we have shopping complexes, we have self-services, we have electronic commerce, we have voluntary chains, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when we're talking about we start by looking at pre-packaging, right? So when we're talking about pre-packaging, this is the packing of items in tubes, bottles, boxes, etc. So when we're talking about pre-packaging, we're referring to the practice of packing products before they are displayed for sale. Okay, so when you're talking about pre-packaging, mostly it's suitable for goods that maintain the size, the quality, we have the appearance. So when packaging, we would talk about examples like biscuits packaging, we talk about bathing soaps, we talk about bottled, we talk about canned bottles or tin bottles, yeah. So some items such as fruits and vegetables may not be pre-packed because they cannot remain in the same condition over a long period of time. Okay. So now let us look at some of the reasons why we prepackage these goods. So to facilitate the branding of the goods, okay. To facilitate self-service in large shops. So when you talk about self-service, we're talking about when you go to, for example, a supermarket, we'll talk about shopping complexes. So you walk into a shop and you find those products have been put on the shelf, like different products, and we as people just have to move around to check for the product that we want. Like everything has been displayed. So now you do a self-service where you don't have to ask the person or the people in the shop what you want, but you just move around. You do self-service. You just move around to find the brand or the product that you're looking for. Okay, to help in advertising of goods. So those people that have these supermarkets, they put different products, different brands. Okay, so they're more like advertising. I'll talk about an example of soap, right? So when you talk about soap, there are variety types, different types. There's Boom, there's Bullet, there's Sunlight. So people, when you go to the section, because they put this in different section. Let's say you go to the section where they are just soaps. So this is like a variety of soaps, different types of soaps, different brands. So you go there and pick the brand that you want, right? So they're more like advertising different brands, and people get to pick the brands that they want. To allow customers easily identify goods they need, to reduce the possibility of goods contamination. Okay. So like when I'll give an example, when you talk about food contamination, right? I'll give an example of a butchery, right? So in a butchery, if we've noticed, most butcheries, when they put their products in those refrigerators, we are restricted from touching them with our bare hands. Why? Because they are trying to avoid contamination of those products by maybe our hands being contaminated. Let's say we have germs, we didn't wash our hands, and different people walk in a shop, they would want to touch those products, they will get contaminated, right? So they are put in that place where we can just see them from the mirror, right? But we're not going to open to like touch them to avoid contamination, right? To prevent damage to goods while left in stock or in transition. To attract customers with distinctive packaging. So the way you package your product also attracts customers. Okay. So let us look at the effects of pre-packaging on retail trade. So when you talk about the major effects of this pre-packaging on retail trade, it has been a contribution to the development of self-service. Pre-packaging goods can be displayed on shelves and remain there for a long time. Okay, so this happens a number of times where these goods that are being prepackaged, they are displayed in a shop, and some products would stay there for a very long time. So you find other new products have been brought in, and those other ones have stayed there for quite a long time. So this one also allows customers to save themselves, because you work in a shop, when these products are already displayed, you just know which section you're supposed to go to find a certain product that you want, right? Okay, let us look at the advantages of prepackaging. So prepackaging helps build up brand loyalty. The retailer does not need to understand the product he or she sells. So what do we mean by this point? So let's say, for example, I'll give an example of peanut butter, right? So now this peanut butter is from this certain brand, right? And it's been branded, like it's been packaged. So most of the times, if we've noticed, most of these prepackaged products have ingredients. They have instructions on how you're supposed to use them, right? So meaning a customer will walk into a shop, get this peanut butter. They have an idea of the brand they want. When they look at that brand, the packaging or the branding would definitely describe the products, the ingredients that were used in making that particular product. If it's medicine, it will tell you how you're supposed to take it, right? So meaning the retailer doesn't have to do much explaining on how that product should be used and what was used to produce that product, because everything has been packaged on the branding, right? Fewer workers are employed in self-service stores because goods are prepackaged. So these goods are prepackaged. Everything is explained on the goods. So there's no need for a lot of employees there for them to like be there and explain what that product has to do, the effects, the benefits, because everything has been put on that branding, right? Customers easily carry packaged goods. Without packaging, the brand names cannot be marked on the market. So most of the times, when certain products are displayed and it's just plain, okay, there's no branding whatsoever, there's no name, people will pass because they're like, we have no idea about this product, like it's just plain, we don't know what ingredients were there, we don't know anything about it, like it has no name. So most of those products stay for a long time without being sold because people don't know the people that brought it on market, they don't know what ingredients were used, and so on and so forth. Goods are put in amounts suitable for customers. Now we look at the disadvantages of packaging. Okay, so packaging costs a lot of money in materials. Okay, so when we're talking about this packaging, there is so much money that is needed. Okay, now we look at branding. So branding is the marking of goods with a distinguishing name or mark so that they are easily identified from the other products or those sold by traders. So an example is washing detergents, right? So washing detergent is a name in general, but there are people who have different types of soaps. Okay, we can talk about people have Zamosh, there's Boom, there's Bullet, Sunshine, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, so when we're talking about branding, this is creating a unique identity for a product, company, or service. So when you're talking about this branding, mostly it involves designing a memorable name, right? This company forms a name, they form a logo, an image that will set apart from competitors. So when you talk about, for example, washing detergents, right? There is competition out there. Like everybody is producing, different companies are producing these washing detergents, but how is that product going to stand out for a certain company? How they package it, how they brand it, is going to attract customers. Okay, let us look at the advantages of branding. So branding builds up a reputation of a business organization. So let's say you're branding your logo, the name, how you package it, that will attract customers. Okay, branding enables producers to advise their individual products, to advertise their individual products. So how you package it will also speak for you, will also speak and advertise your product, right? So branding helps greatly in advertising of goods. It saves customers time in choosing and picking goods. Okay, so when you brand your products, it's very easy for a customer to save time and choose and pick from what they want, okay? Because your products are branded, they have logos, they have names, so people know the specification of products that they want. All right. So let us look at the disadvantages of branding. So a retailer might be forced to stock many brands of the same type of goods in order to satisfy the needs of all customers. All right. So when we're talking about this, we have competition, right, on the market, different companies producing different products. So most of the times we find a situation where a company produces, so I'll give an example of a milkshake, right? So there's a company, for instance, that's dealing with milkshake, and then you find that milkshake is like on the market, and maybe people are buying it, people love it. So those people will be forced to make the same milkshake in different type. It could be the same, but like in different brands, just to keep that name, okay, just to satisfy the customer needs, right? So excessive advertising campaigns to promote the sale of brands may be false, misleading, harmful to customers. So some brands in a haste of trying to advertise, trying to brand their product, they might mislead customers. Like they might put some of the products, they might overrate some of their products, knowing fully well that's not the way they operate. But since they're trying to brand and market it, they will not tell people about the dangers of those products. They will not tell people the truth about that product. Why? Because they're trying to advertise their product, and they're trying to make people buy those products, right? Okay, let us now look at shopping complexes. All right. So when you talk about shopping complexes, it's also known as shopping centers, or we can also call them shopping malls, right? So a shopping complex is a variety of shops in a same location, which do not directly compete with each other, but work to stimulate business for one. Okay. So when we're talking about shopping complexes, so these are large buildings, okay, or they are large complexes that house multiple retail stores. So what do we mean? This shopping complex could be owned by, for instance, would say government or a private person, right? But then how it operates is in a way where it's multiple. It could be owned by one person, but it's multiple. Why? Because it has different retail stores owned by different companies or owned by different people. So you can find the shopping complex has restaurants owned by different people. It has entertainment venues owned by different people. It has boutiques and so on and so forth, but owned by different people, right? Okay, so let us look at the advantages of shopping complexes. So shopping complexes are large enough to carry out national advertising campaigns to attract customers. All right, they are located out of town centers where land is cheaper. Okay, so it provides customer facilities such as banks, restaurants, hair salons, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when you talk about multiple, shopping complexes can have different types of retail stores, right? So here, most shopping complexes have banks, they have hair salons, they have different retail shops, okay? So have extensive parking facilities for customers. Okay, so when you talk about shopping malls, these are very large buildings, right? So these buildings also have car parks. Okay, because most of customers have cars, and so when they go to such places, they have large car parks in order for those people to for their customers to park their cars. Okay, customers are sold at cheaper prices. So when you go to different shopping complexes, some complexes are at competition, right? You find, for example, give an example of a China shop, right? So you find you go to a shopping complex and there's a China shop, about two at the same shopping complex. So there'll be like a competition. So each one is fighting to hold customers, and hence they'll end up making their products cheaper. Okay. Let us look at the disadvantages of shopping complexes. So when two or more shops are dealing in the same kind of goods, competition becomes stiff. Okay. So here is a shopping complex, for example, and this shopping complex has Pick and Pay. It has ShopRite. So there could be a stiff competition because they are nearly selling the same things, right? And they both want customers. So there's competition, right? Customers cover long distance to reach shopping complexes by buses or taxis. Okay, so here not everyone owns a car, right? So there are certain customers that would want to go to certain shopping malls, following certain shops and brands, right? So they have to cover like a long distance. Would say those that go by bus and use taxis, so that could be expensive, right? Customers end up buying goods they never budgeted for as they visit variety of shops with attractive display of goods. So this is impulse buying, right? So you tell yourself, I'm going for a specific product, but because shopping complexes have different retail shops, as you are moving around, you'll be forced to impulse buy. Like you'll be forced to buy things that you did not budget for. All right, let us look at self-service. Okay, so This is when customers save themselves in selecting and picking goods from shelves without the help of shop assistants in supermarkets, clothing stores, and garage. Okay, so let us look at the advantage of this self-service, right? So when you talk about self-service, it has advantages where it provides a quicker